Evidently incapable of reading the proverbial room, or perhaps incapable of reading English, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, Democrat, has decided to prepare for Mother's Day in a very special way. His wokeness just backed a bill that would force all official state documents handling artificial insemination to replace the word mother with the lovely construction of inseminated person, like a farm animal. Seriously. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Yes, inseminated persons. Oh, man. And you know, technically, biologically speaking, inseminated doesn't mean pregnant. It means inseminated, whether the act has led to fertilization of an egg or not. So logic would dictate that a mother is an inseminated person, insulting as the term might be, but not all inseminated people become mothers. Tony might want to remember that. And another note to Tony. Tony, is there a space in the world where politicians like you won't force us to have to trod? Are there areas of life where we can avoid discussing this kind of thing? Or will collectivists like you drag us into every bizarre corner of the universe as you try to pander to X or Y group in an ever-expanding sphere of collectivism? Because, of course, collectivism can't allow one minute facet of human existence to dodge the panopticon of government overseers and control freaks. Thank you, Tony. Breitbart's Elizabeth Weibel offers more. Quote, Dan O'Donnell, the host of the Dan O'Donnell Show, shared an excerpt of Senate Bill 45, Section 3106, which also replaces the words man and wife for person. The bill, introduced on Friday, is about state finances and appropriations constituting the Executive Budget Act of the 2025 legislature, according to WSAU News, end quote. Actually, the bill focuses on terms that will be used anytime a child is conceived through insemination from a so-called donor other than the woman's spouse. It replaces traditional terms in an already standing statute, a statute that itself already warps reality. And this is important. That statute claims that the male spouse, aka the husband, not the biological donor, is considered the other natural parent of the child. That's in the statute already. So this new linguistic absurdity comes atop an already extant insult to reality that sees the state officially call the person who is not the biological father the natural father of the child. He isn't the natural father. He's the statutory father. The original language of the standing statute reads in part, quote, if, under the supervision of a licensed physician and with the consent of her husband, a wife is inseminated artificially with semen donated by a man who is not her husband, the husband of the mother at the time of the conception of the child shall be the natural father of a child conceived. The husband's consent must be in writing and signed by him and his wife, end quote. Well, then that's fantastic. Great. I think you can see the problem. And that problem is already on the books. If the Evers-backed bill passes, well, then the language will change. And it will read, quote, if with the spouse's consent a person is inseminated artificially as provided in paragraph B with semen donated by a person who is not the spouse of the person being inseminated, the spouse of the inseminated person at the time of the conception of the child shall be the natural parent of a child conceived. The spouse's consent must be in writing and signed by him or her and by the inseminated person, end quote. Oh, yes, yes. And while the linguistic changes are drawing plenty of attention and mockery, seeing the Liberty Center's Mark Trammell adroitly noting on X, quote, "Nothing says I love you, Mom, like celebrating Inseminated Persons Day, May 11th. Mark your calendars," end quote. And while Riley Gaines took to X to write, quote, "The thought of being labeled as inseminated or uninseminated by this creep makes my stomach turn with big question marks," end quote. Yes, they and many other critics of this absurd word switch make very valid points, but I think they miss the already established problem. Like Humpty Dumpty in Wonderland, who hinted to Alice that he was in political control, so he could make words mean pretty much anything he wanted them to mean, the state already has claimed the power to confer the term natural parent to the husband of the mother, not the actual natural father. Regardless of what people might think about legal documents for parenting or inheritance or any other government-related, government-influenced part of what should be private, personal affairs, it's offensive to reality to see the state decree that the man who is not the biological father shall be called the natural father, or now, one of the natural parents of the child. The state already has engaged in a warping of reality, and this is just more of the same insane destruction of family, logic, and the language. At least, of course, it isn't a national statute. At least we still have enough vestigial federalism to escape the Wisconsin madhouse if we want to, and if we have the means to do so. But collectivists rarely stop at just one state. They rarely are satisfied until they spread the cancer, forcing everyone to comply. And the amazing thing, the gaslighting style of it all, is that the collectivists typically claim that they engage in their acts of force in order to help the little guy. Yeah. They act like bullies and will not let you be free to think or speak properly, even as they claim they work for liberation. It's sick. And it's seen in two facets of this breaking story right here. Well, good luck, Wisconsin. If you're a resident of that state, I wish you all the best. And perhaps I wish you all the best as you look into getting moving trucks ready. Thanks for watching, one and all. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on Rumble, where they don't censor us. We are still on YouTube, and yes, they do censor us there. You can find us all the time on Facebook. Check out what all the visitors are saying there. And of course, check us out at the MRC-TV website. That's MRCTV.org. MRCTV.org. You can see what the whole team is doing, see what's in the store, and consider donating to the Media Research Center. You can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, and on X. And if you want to find me on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith on Gab, and on X, I'm at Gard Goldsmith. Thanks for watching, everyone. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.